Hey, my name is Samantha Day, and I'm a resident of the Stonelea community. I'm here tonight hoping that my voice and the voices of the Stonelea community will be heard. If you're part of the Stonelea community, could you please stand up tonight? Tonight, several others and I are here in regards to the property at 96 Westlake Drive. For over 2 years now, the property has consisted of a concrete basement slab, a vehicles parked at the right along the road with a camper, a tent full of items, and a porta potty. I myself am an avid camper, but when I chose to buy in Stonelea, it was not to live in a camper community. Several of the other counties around us have ordinances against living in campers for this exact reason. There are several concerns I have with this property and situation. Not only is the site an eyesore, but it's affecting people who are trying to sell their homes. Another issue that I wonder about is environmental concerns. When in a camper, you have to dump your gray water, which is your dirty water, and your black tank, which is your sewage, regularly. He currently has his camper hooked to a portable tank, which I hope is being disposed of properly, but who knows if it is, because there are no regulations about campers living on properties, and it could be being dumped into the lake on his property. I urge you to change the ordinance that allows people to live in campers for over 2 years when not actively building their homes. When this is changed, he should not be grandfathered in. In addition, he should not be allowed to have his permits renewed. In addition, I'm curious to know how he is being allowed to run for District 3 Commissioner, but yet fails to meet the requirements of having a permanent residence, as a camper should not be considered a permanent residence. As you go home tonight and drive by any property of land by your home or your neighborhood, please think about how you would feel to see this site every single day as you enter and leave your home, a camper, a porta potty, within 10 feet of the road. I urge you to consider these points and make the proper changes to support our community. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
I'm also a resident of Stonelea, and I've actually brought pictures. I've got 3 packets here, or 3 pictures each that are
What's your name, sir?
Tim Pickett,
Thank you, sir.
and they're numbered 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3
Thank
of
you.
3.
Got you, sir.
Our approach was just a little different, but still, same thing. My name's Tim Pickett, and I live with my family at 310 Lake Stonelea Drive. Thank you for tonight. I appreciate it. 96 Westlake Drive. Approximately 2 years ago, a house was started construction. The concrete poured foundation was started and completed, and has sat there since. And if you look at the pictures, they're from the point of view driving from the left side. You'll see the dumpster, you'll see the barren land, you'll see the rocks and gravel, you'll see the privacy fence, you'll see the porta potty, you'll see the safety cones, you'll see the vehicles and things out there. And as I understand it, there are no code enforcement levers to do anything about it. Backing up, last summer at 3215, neighbors of ours on Lake Stonelea, Christina and Floyd Roberts' septic tank failed. They had to replace it. The yard was left barren because the landscaper said, you don't need to plant yet because the soil has to settle. Code enforcement came out and made them plant grass, and it failed as expected, and at their expense, they had to redo their yard. But code enforcement made them fix that because it looked bad. And the Roberts only had maybe a fifth of the property that is denuded and barren, and this property exists. So there appears to be no code enforcement that can do anything about this. And it's been an eyesore. I applaud somebody wanting to build their own house. It's a fantastic idea. I've done it before. But without some kind of deadline or something, you know, y'all need deadlines, we all need deadlines. Without deadlines, things can drag on and on and on, and it's been over 2 years. So that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Melissa Tice, and I'm a resident of the Stonelea subdivision. And I actually live on Westlake Drive, which is the road where we are all here. Again, if people from the community of Stonelea would stand so that everyone can see here that it's not just me, and it's not just the few people that have spoken, it's all of these people and more. Thank you, sorry. But what I wanted to say is that the property is at 96 Westlake Drive. It was granted a special variance by you and whomever, the permitting people, so that he could actually build that close to the lake and to the road. And yet 2 years later, we're still sitting with a foundation. It is at the very beginning of where our subdivision starts. So when you pull into our subdivision, the first thing you see is a wonderful porta potty. for 2 years. Then you see a nice camper, right? And behind the camper is a tent. And in that tent is junk, right? And this is what we have to look at for 2 years. So, ask is that you, as our commissioners, whatever group you have to go to or however, come up with a way to allow there to be a timeline and not to allow progress to be, oh, I moved a roll-off container. Oh, I picked up a 2x4. So I get my next permit. I can apply for another one. Please come up with a timeline. Come up with rules and regulations that are more specific so that these things have to be completed in time. Because unfortunately, all of my neighbors and all the people here are having to deal with this. And it's really getting out of hand. Again, the property owner has had ample time, real progress, and to build the actual structure, more than 2 years, much less to complete the home. So again, I'm asking that if nothing else, please come up with a timeline. Please have more specific rules, regulations when it comes to this, because we've had to deal with this for 2 years and it's just not fair to us. It's not fair to our property values and it's not fair to our quality of life. We all pay our taxes. We all do what we're supposed to do. We follow the rules, but unfortunately, there's not a rule here for this. And not just that, I would also ask that, as the lady before me stated, there needs to be some type of rule with respect to living in a camper on a property that has nothing but a foundation. I can understand everybody has tough times, everybody has hard times, but there needs to be a timeline and something needs to be done about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Good evening.
I'm John Detlef. I also am a member of Stonelea Community. And along the lines that have already been expressed, I have some information here and some pictures that if I may give to this woman. I don't know if, do we need to request to be put on an agenda to discuss this at length? Or is it up to y'all to discuss this and determine an appropriate action? We need to do this for the good of Newton County. This is not just Stonelea community. This is for our county, our community as a whole. And we need to go over some ordinances and eliminate some loopholes and make it reasonable and fair for someone trying to build a home. And we've been very patient, and it's time to get some gears rolling. So please consider that. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Vincent McClendon, and I live in the Winchester Park subdivision off of Fairview Road. I lived in this county for 23 years, and I've seen nothing but schools, which is good. Have not seen any sidewalks, not even a park. I mean, it's embarrassing that I have to go over to Rockdale County, which is the closest park to my home, just for my grandkids to play. My kids are already grown. But for 23 years, I've lived in this county, and I've seen nothing. Businesses being put up consistently, tearing up our roads. Is this a fair assessment for my taxes? I mean, if you're not here to be for the people, if you're not here to put things in this county where we pay our taxes into, you need to leave. I don't mean, I'm not trying to be threatful, and I'm not trying to be ignorant or rude to you. However, you're here for us. We voted you in, and we need you to do your job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Mark Gardner. I live at 650 West Macedonia Church Road, which is right at the entrance to the Stonelea subdivision off of Westlake Drive. I live in a home that I built with my wife and moved in 2022. We bought a piece of property that was on 7 acres. It was on a lake, and the lake is a private lake, and it's owned by 6 different homeowners. One of them being the individuals under discussion here about the problem with his construction process or incomplete construction process. So it was, I came on April 22nd and 21 when they had the zoning meeting when he was requesting a variance on this property. And I had a number of concerns about if it was appropriate. Some of the questions I asked the members of the commission at that point in time were, what was the purpose of the zoning ordinance? What's the purpose of the setbacks? What is the purpose of him getting a variance? My concern was that these rules or ordinances are in place for some reason, to protect the community, the property. There's reasons why these things were put together. Well, in the wisdom of the committee, they decided to allow the variance. And actually, there were only 2 people that evening spoke out against it, me being one of them. In the interim, we actually made acquaintance with the folks that were trying to build, were planning on building there here, and had a cordial relationship, and I wished them well in their construction process. Well, their construction process has been process. Of course, they put up what's required for barriers to try to stop silt from washing in, but his whole ground on the backside of his, from where I can see on the backside of his foundation, is raw. So guess what happened over the last, since January, since we've had these hard rains, where the lake almost went over the spillway, where it came up at least 3 to 4 feet. Well, we had red in the lake because coming off that piece of property. My concern again is about the lake and protecting the community. So in these rains, that very first rain, he has a pontoon boat out there. He has a little rowboat out there. He had his friends and kids, they go out fishing. That's great. Problem is, this rain has washed his rowboat up across the lake.
Thank you.
And it's halfway, it appears to be, from my vantage point.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
I just asked for if there's anything y'all could do, please do handle it.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Madison Damiani, and I am a resident of the Stonelea community. I graduated from the Newton County School System, grew up in Covington, attended college, and chose to move back to Covington as a college graduate because of the opportunities afforded to me in this great county. I love Stonelea and the sense of community that when I decided to purchase my own home at 23 years old, I purchased in Stonelea. Over the past few years, I have seen the situation unravel and create a sense of divide amongst our community, which is truly heartbreaking. I could reiterate everything everyone has already said, but it's 8:06 and I'm sure everyone has a bedtime. But it seems like you guys are finding value in the statements that our community is presenting to you tonight. From a citizen's interpretation, I read in section 510-10 that this is in the, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the code. Recreational vehicles cannot be parked on lots where there is no primary dwelling or other structure housing a permanent principal use except in RV parks. Even if someone were to interpret the footings on this property to be a permanent structure, 500-55 goes on to say that RVs cannot be occupied any longer than 14 days. The existence of the RV on this property is a violation of our ordinances, and that is according to my interpretation. I hope that you guys can see that this community needs your help. on all sides of this situation. We need you guys to step in and assist everyone. To the elected officials in front of me and the community behind me, I truly hope that we can work together to find a solution to the situation. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Frederick Johnson, 1036 Highway 162, Covington, in the Spring Hill community. I was talking with Dwayne Mass before the meeting, and he was telling me that our park is coming right along, so we might have a chance to use it around June, the latter part of May or June. So I thank you. On next Wednesday at 6:30, the Solid Waste Commission have asked to have a meeting in our community at the Spring Hill United Methodist Church. And I wish that I could get some of my neighbors to come to these meetings, but they don't, and I have to relay all the information to them. But if you all, some of you, if you have time, would you come to the meeting on next Wednesday? Maybe they might have some questions they might want to ask, and maybe you can answer some questions and so forth. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
On the Threat Nation News on YouTube, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Elwood, Mr. Mason, Mr. Baines, Mr. Carwin. If you guys was half the leader of the great legendary Eric Mays out of Flint, Michigan, he died last week. So we want to pay tribute to his hard work, what he did for his community. If I'm here in Covington, Georgia, speaking about a man 800 miles away, what that says about your leadership, that goes to show you his work. You guys don't care anything about the people out here, because if you did, those monitors would have been on the wall out the way so these people can see. Mr. Mason, you didn't bulldoze the facility out there in District 3. How is that? Why is that? Could you do something to improve that district out there for the youth people out there? What's wrong with you, man? Clean it up, man. Help the people in District 3. Stop thinking about your own ego, because that's what it sounds like. It's an ego thing. The people out in District 3, they asking for that. So last month, I talked about snake oil in the desert. And a lot of people in Newton County don't understand what I'm talking about, but it was based on Miss Kennedy and Mr. Cooper pushing some figures on you. And if you believe those numbers, I got that snake oil in the desert waiting for you, because something is not adding up about the ARPA fund. The numbers not adding up. So that goes to show you, out of $21 million, only 275 residents were served. How? Somebody is lying up here. And I called out the name. And so if you think they won't do it to you out here, they just did it to District 3. Okay? Newton County, these commissioners up here, they got their own personal agenda. They don't care about you. Okay? They're going to pat you on the head just to make themselves feel good or in front of the cameras. But when they get behind closed doors, it's just like falling on deaf ears. Get out and vote. Okay? Because these people right here, they don't care anything about you. They're going to do their own thing. They don't care about you, man. So that snake oil is still available in Newton County. If you want to believe those figures, those numbers, hey, that snake oil is waiting for you. But for me, $21 million, 275 people didn't get served, $400,000 Salvation Army got, and did they return the money? Did you do an investigation? Come on now. It's people out here hurting. That ARPA fund money belongs to the people.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Me again, Griggs, 55 River Shores Court. I come up to talk about leadership. So like he said, the chairman had a conversation the other night out in the parking lot. And I was telling him the way I did it when I worked for the federal government, you would work with the person in District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4 to find out what they need in the areas. Then he can kind of branch off and go talk to them, man, maybe we need to help them. Maybe we need to help over here. But you guys is all caught up in your own thing here. You got Brother Sand over there, Mason, and Cowan, and Chairman Bain. All four of y'all need to get going. And the people out there, it's voting time. And it's time to get them out of here. You hear me?
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
My name is Tiffany Benton. I'm a resident of District 3. I was not going to speak tonight, but something that was said earlier moved me to get up out of my seat. I am increasingly concerned about the lack of agenda items given or attention given to District 3. I don't have any agenda other than what's best for my community. And like someone else said, what's best for my community is for the good of all of Newton County. I have been a resident of District 3 for 23 years. I want to know where my tax dollars are going. I want an itemized list of what happened to our 2017 SPLOST allocation. I'm hearing about parks being built and completed where people's children in other districts are going to be able to play and enjoy this summer. We haven't even decided on a location, and I've been asking for years. And like the gentleman said earlier, I've had to take my kids to O'Neill Park to play football for years. I feel like as a taxpayer, I am owed something in return for my tax dollars. And all we are asking for is our fair share of things that are going to enhance the quality of life for residents in District 3. Where are our walking trails? Do we not deserve them? The young lady said earlier, something about a crime-ridden area. I am appalled. Do we not deserve parks, walking trails, and the quality that everybody else has in their district? Because your idea of our area is that it's crime-ridden. I would have you know there are hard-working residents, honest paying tax residents in District 3 that want something in return for the money we have paid in Newton County tax, property assessments, SPLOST funds, whatever, for 23 years. Why is nothing for District 3 being placed on the agenda? Where are our parks? Where are our walking trails? Where is the quality of life? We don't want another subdivision until this question is answered and there's a remedy. Why do we hire a consultant to ask the community? We took our time, my community members came out, where the park should be placed. Nothing's being done and this consultant is being paid. That doesn't make sense to me. We're wasting money and doing nothing. I am offended. I don't have any agenda other than what's best for the community. And what's best for District 3 is best for all of Newton County. I feel offended for the children, because you're talking about crime. They don't have nowhere to go. What are they supposed to do? They're hanging out with nowhere to go. There are no activities in the whole area. If their parents can't afford to take them to other places to have activities like me and my husband can, then they just hanging out on the street with nothing to do. Ridiculous.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Hi there. Thank y'all for allowing all of us to come this evening and to talk to y'all. I want to also say thank you to all the Stonelea residents and all the others that came tonight so that we could chat with y'all, okay? What we wanted to do was make y'all aware of so I am 71 years old. I have lived in Newton County my entire life, and I've never seen anything like it is now. And it's just growing and growing. We just don't seem to have the streets to accommodate all the cars, and it's just getting worse by the minute. And if we're having these things happen, with people coming in, starting to build a house, and they get, for some reason, it goes no further than just digging out the basement, then, you know, they need to get help, or something needs to be done at that point. And there again, that's why we need these time limits. We need something put in. Now, I had heard, and I can be wrong, that it only takes 3 votes from the commission to do something about this. And I want to ask y'all, please, I don't know if you could vote tonight to turn it back over to planning and them, to let them look at this, and whoever needs to take bite of this thing and fix this for us in Newton County. If y'all can do this for us, we beg you, please do that, because I love Newton County. This is my home, and I hate to see what's happening in Newton County. I'm hearing we don't have parks enough for folks, and it's a shame that we don't have what we need. And I think everybody up here means well. The whole thing is we can't get together on what we need to do. And that's where we got to start talking, coming together, working together, trying to put those pieces of this puzzle together so that we help everybody. Not just a few, not just a few here, but entire Newton County. And I just thank y'all very much. And thank y'all.
Thank you, ma'am. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to thank the residents of District 3, Stonelea Community, Winchester Park, and many others who came out. I've always stated that this is your county. We work for you. You're our boss. You hire us and you fire us at the polls. You are the ones that we're supposed to be listening to. We are considered to be, we should be, public servants. We are here to serve the community, not serve ourselves. So my apology to the Stonelea community, because I had no idea. I don't know how it was kept from me. I'm out and about that this has been going on for 2 years. I had no idea. So when you reached out to me and told me about this mission, I did get on, and then I reached out to our development service manager and our county manager. And so we as a board have to come together to reset our zoning and ordinances because they're outdated and they don't fit this time. So my apologies to you and the state of my board. Would you want to come to nice and beautiful homes and see campers and see somebody barbecuing in your nice, beautiful $300,000-$400,000 homes? So if you would like that, maybe you should allow that camper to be in your backyard. So we need to think about those various things. In regards to Parks and Rec, when someone says the west side of Newton County, and I represent all of Newton County, I hear from the north side and what they tell me what they want and how they want to stay in their rural area. I hear from the west side who are tired of development and building. But when you say an area, and I've heard a commissioner state this, and someone on Facebook said a commissioner told them this, when you say an area is crime infested, let me give you some statistics, and this came from economic development. Your highest degree residents live in District 3. Those who have master's and bachelor's and doctoral degrees live in District 3 in Newton County. So when you say that this area is crime infested, you're talking about educated people. When you say in this area is crime infested, you also talking about the children who have nothing to do, because why? They've been deprived for so many years. Now, I am, point of order, can you stop my time?
Go ahead, Commissioner.
When you're saying crime-infested area, you had a commissioner who sat here for 12 years. Didn't put a park, didn't put a playground. I'm in 2023 fighting for a park and fighting for a playground. And you had a commissioner sat in this seat for 12 years. So when you're calling crime-infested areas, you're saying, oh, because this area may have had certain things, but if you also look at the crime rate in Newton County, you actually pull the report like I did, you would know that those people who committed crimes in District 3 were not from District 3. They were from other areas that came into the area to commit those crimes. But we also have children that are in need of programming. They deserve the sidewalks. We had kids who get hit by cars trying to walk to school because you put so many subdivisions that came in before I came in place. These subdivisions were approved by the previous board, and some of you sat on this board. And you put all those subdivisions, but you did not put provisions in place and the structure in place for the roads and sidewalks. So you have kids who are dodging cars and parents trying to dodge their getting to school. So this is what you see in District 3. So when you feel like you're denying something in my area, you're not doing it to me. I said this 20,000 times. My child's in her second year in college. I only have one. I'm fighting for a community. I'm fighting for kids who do not have a voice. So when you're denying something that I put on here just because you don't like, because I speak out for the community and I call you out when you're wrong, that's on you. That is a personal problem that you need to ask your therapist why you have that issue. And you need to think about the community and not yourself.
Commissioner Henderson.